So let's talk about friction and quality. So I talked about the entire sales process, I talked about the entire sales funnel. And so one thing that we want, there's people probably in every single stage of business in this room, right? Now, I'm not going to recommend that you guys have a funnel, an opt-in page, that you have a booking page, you have a thank you page, that you have an application on your booking page, because that's a lot of friction. That's a lot of things that people have to go through. Now, what you don't want to do is start out with all of that friction, because it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to book appointments at that point. If you're in the position where you don't have at least 6 sales calls on your calendar every single day, then you need to think about how you can start removing friction so that you can start having those calls, taking those calls, listening to the market and figuring out, okay, if I'm not closing at this rate, then what is it about my offer? What is it about the way I'm communicating, and getting that feedback so you can just improve, right? Now, let's talk about the 4 phases of friction. So phase 1 is essentially you're probably looking at like a lead form going to like a booking page, right? So that's phase 1. What you're going to do is you're going to get more volume. You're going to get more leads, probably going to get more appointments, but the quality is not going to be as great, right? Then you can go phase by phase by phase. If we go all the way to phase 4, that's probably something like an opt-in page that makes them enter in their information. And then it goes to a VSL, a pretty built-out VSL. Essentially what that page is doing is disqualifying the people who aren't good fits, right? And just further qualifying the people who are. And then from the VSL, they click another button, and then they go book a time. And then you can add an application. So our application is like 10 or 13 questions long. And every single step there is adding more friction. You get all the way to cool, they booked a time, they've answered all of those questions. What we're going to see is a lot less volume. We're going to see a lot less appointments. However, the quality of that appointment is going to be a lot higher, right? What's that? Sorry, that should be more. Yeah. Yeah, so it should be more volume, less quality. It should be more quality, less volume. Yeah. I'll fix that when I send out the slides. So phase 1, like I talked about, Facebook lead form goes to a booking page, then goes to a thank you page. That's pretty basic. That's least amount of friction, probably going to get the most volume. Phase 2, opt-in page. So you're going to take them off of Facebook, right? And you're going to take them and put them onto an opt-in page. Let's just say you weren't doing Facebook lead forms and you were doing TikTok. I think TikTok has a lead form too. You were doing YouTube. You would just probably start with phase 2, go straight to a landing page, a booking page, and a thank you page, right? And so again, that's a little bit more volume, but the quality is going to be a little bit higher. And then you go to phase 3, then that's going to be opt-in page, VSL, booking page, and thank you page. Right? Now, let me kind of back up, right? So if you guys, like I said, if you aren't at least getting on 6 sales calls every single day, you're going to stay here. You're going to stay here until you do. You're going to stay here until you have as many appointments that you can handle. Then, I think Abe's in this situation right now. Then, once you have as many appointments as you can handle, you can start assessing. You're like, you know what? The people that I'm getting on the phone with, they aren't the best. They're not qualified, right? And then, okay, so I know, Abe, you wanted to talk to me about this, so here we go, right? If you're in that situation, what you need to do is boom, you go to phase 2. Okay, cool. Let me take them off of Facebook and go to a Facebook go to an opt-in page, right? Because what that's going to do is that's going to have them manually enter in their information, right? You're going to have a headline. It's going to be you have a pixel. You can even retarget them. Then you go to a booking page and a thank you page. Run that for a couple weeks. If you're still finding the same thing, boom, phase 3. Opt-in page, VSL, booking page, thank you page, right? And then usually at this phase, what you're going to find is that, okay, I have a good amount of appointments on my calendar. I have a lot of people that I'm speaking to, and they're good quality, right? So you may stay at phase 3 for a little bit until you hire a couple of sales reps, and then your sales reps are going to be like, hey man, these calls suck. I need better people. The sales rep will always say that. I love you, Donna. I love you, Jonathan. I love you, everybody. But the sales rep will always ask for better leads, no matter what position that you're in. And so you'll probably stay here for about a little bit until you hire a couple of reps. And then what you're then going to do is you're going to add in an application, right? Do you see that change? It's the same thing. Opt-in page, VSL page, booking page, but the booking page, you add in an application, right? And then once you add in the application, the quality becomes better. Sometimes maybe the volume increases. We actually just added in a question that is pretty bold. And if we'd probably book 40 calls every single day, 40 booked appointments every day. And I think now we're at 35. And we made a very bold kind of claim on that. You guys want to know what it is? I don't want to be like secretive about it. So what we did is we put on there, hey, if you're not making over $10,000 a month, then just don't book a time. I'm not sure that we'll be able to help you. Now, we can help people who are making under $10,000 a month. However, what I want to test is I want to see if that increases the quality of the people that we're getting on the sales calls with. Because the number one objection that I feel like we get on our sales, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is like, oh my gosh, dude, I love everything that you're doing, but I just don't have the money right now. And when I do get the money, I'm coming to see you, right? And so what I want to try to see is like, okay, let's see if we increase the friction, if that increases the quality of people on our calls, and if that increases the close rate. Because if, like I told you, if we're booking 40 and now we're booking 35, that's really not that big of a drop. And if it increases the close rates by 5%, at our rate, 5% is a big jump. Like, that's a lot of money for us. So that's something that we're testing right now.
If you enjoyed that, press here for the full unedited version of this episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Adios.